Welcome back to the Takeout. Welcome to the Conversation Corner. Despite being a prominent supporter of the LGBTQ plus community, California congressional candidate and current state senator Scott Wiener was forced to leave a pro-trans rights march on Friday. The point of contention, situation in Gaza. Listen.
You've been wonderful for trans people, and you've been terrible. And you've been terrible. You've been terrible. You've been terrible on Gaza.
Protesters in San Francisco's Dolores Park surrounded Wiener, who is Jewish. Now, he's on the record saying he believes Israel's military actions in Gaza amount to genocide. He says this is the first time he could not participate in the march since it began in 2004. And Scott Wiener joins me now. Scott, was what happened to you on Friday protected First Amendment speech or something menacing and therefore possibly criminal?
This went beyond free speech. I represent San Francisco. We have a very robust democracy, and people do not hesitate to tell me when they agree or disagree with me. People will challenge my views. We'll have conversations. People will sometimes record me, and that's all fine. That's all protected First Amendment speech. Here it was different. I went to the park to attend the trans march, attending a trans-led Pride Shabbat first. And these folks ran towards me and swarmed around me. A few of them touched me, and they were, screaming at me while they were doing it and trying to bully me and intimidate me out of the park. And I ended up leaving because it wasn't safe for me to remain. They were also lying about my record on Gaza. They were talking about how I have, quote unquote, Israeli handlers, which is a classic anti-Semitic trope about Jews having dual loyalty and not being loyal to the U.S. And it was just well beyond free speech, and it's really harmful to democracy.
You felt for your physical safety?
I did. As it was unfolding, I decided instead of going to where I was going to go in the park to attend this trans-led Pride Shabbat, I decided just to keep walking through and out of the park, because if I stayed in the park, I was fearful for my own safety, and I was going to be meeting up with staff and then the trans folks who were leading the Pride Shabbat. I was worried about their safety as well, and I thought under the circumstances, as much as it pained me to leave, because I have been attending for 22 years and I work extensively with trans leaders, legislatively and otherwise, it was painful, but I thought it was for the best.
Do you believe this was an example of the volatility within certain progressive corridors of American politics about Gaza and Israel, or something that was straight up anti-Semitic?
Well, I think both. And just to be clear, a large majority of the people who were at the trans march are not like that and are very welcoming. I know an enormous number of people, trans and non-trans, who were at that march. And so that was not reflective of most of the people there. I want to be really clear about that. But what they were doing is goes well beyond division within the Democratic Party. There is division, and that is healthy and normal, and we can have that conversation. But when it moves from arguing electoral politics, et cetera, and it moves towards physical harassment, bullying, intimidation, trying to drive people out of public spaces, that is no longer healthy dialogue. That is very dysfunctional, and it's very toxic. And yeah, targeting Jewish elected leaders in ways that you are not targeting non-Jewish elected leaders and saying that they have, quote unquote, Israeli handlers, that is definitely anti-Semitic.
What message would you take on Gaza to Congress should you be elected?
Yeah, so Israel is home to half of all Jews on planet Earth. It matters to Jews globally. I want it to exist and to be successful. And I also abhor the abomination that is the Israeli government, which committed genocide in Gaza, is destroying southern Lebanon, is dismembering the West Bank, and is making Palestinians and Jews unsafe. And so I don't think that we should be funding the Israeli military. We shouldn't be funding the destruction of Palestinian communities. And we need to work toward peace, where Israel and Palestine can coexist and live side by side in peace. Bottom line for me, I don't want civilians to die, whether it's Israelis on October 7th or Palestinians in Gaza or Lebanese or anyone else. I don't want civilians to die.
Very quickly, do you believe the Netanyahu government, the Benjamin Netanyahu government, ought to take as a cautionary tale what you've gone through, the election results in New York, and other fissures within the Democratic Party, that something is happening in America to the conversation about Israel and Judaism writ large that they should take heed of?
Well, Benjamin Netanyahu does not care about Jews in other parts of the world, and he abuses his relationship. Jews in the U.S. and elsewhere care about Israel. And Netanyahu manipulates and abuses that relationship in ways that deeply harm Jews in the U.S., in Europe, and elsewhere. Netanyahu's actions help fuel anti-Semitism. I want to be clear, anti-Semitism already existed. It is deep on the far left, on the far right, but Netanyahu makes it worse. And so he doesn't care about American Jews. And we as American Jews need to be very clear-eyed about what Netanyahu and his government are doing. They are extremists. They're messianic. They are massacring Palestinians. They are making Israelis and Jews less safe. They are now destroying southern Lebanon. It's unacceptable, and we need to be clear-eyed about that.
Scott Wiener, I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you.